Hey, welcome back to the Sloppy Modeler, and welcome back to the USS Defiant Part 2. This is going to be showing some additional lighting, and it's going to show kind of the photo etch from Green Strawberry. One of the things I won't be using out of that set is the resin parts. There's just simply not enough room to fit into that nacelle. But let's talk about where we're at real quick, and then we'll show you a few things. So this is the top of the I don't know, torpedo hatch. People go back and forth, whatever it is. There's lights in it. So what I've done here is I've added a white 0402 SMD that is going to light up the Defiant name here. And I've also added a white, a little larger 0625 SMD here in the top center, and that is for my blinking strobe. And that will be coupled with the bottom section, which is going to be right here. And this has a couple of really small portholes have been drilled into it. And this is four sections of SMD. And if I can just plug that in real quick, I'll just show you what you're looking at there. And it's four sections of cob lighting. Come on, there we go. And that will be enough in there to light up the front deflector dish, and it'll be enough in there to light up the 4 windows or 6 windows that are in the top of that. So I don't know if you can see that, but there's windows in there that'll be lit up that will have microcrystal clear in them. So very excited about that lighting. Going to be very easy to wire. It will be 2 wires. It will be 2 circuits coming out of the center of that, because you have one for the blinking and then one for the actual other lights. So definitely in process with that. On the nacelles, those are much more challenging. I think this is the starboard nacelle. I'm sorry, this is the port nacelle. And that has in it 2 red lights that basically I drilled a real tiny small hole. These are small SMDs. And then what I've done is I've put, I've just glued those down with microcrystal clear. I do have the Solares doming resin coming. That'll be here probably Tuesday or Wednesday at Sunday, but I have those coming, and when those get here I'll put an actual dome over those to make them look like small dome lights. Well, I don't want to go too large or that'll be out of scale. But the addition to that, I also have these are, there we go. So these will be, that's the front, these will be for the warp engines. And I've painted those the hull color, and I'm really excited about that polished cement hull color. And these have been painted, and this in here is actually fine line masking fluid pen. I got that at Hobby Lobby, and it's very fine fluid, and then I'll peel that away. And I have painted transparent blue, to me is transparent blue, over the back of those. So when that comes through, when that gets lit up, that will light up with the blue. And then I think the other thing is I have to do the front facade collectors, which I have not done yet. On the bottom of the hull, I have affixed the photo etch. Some pieces, there's still more to go, and then drilled those holes. I'm not sure if you can see it on camera, but I've drilled those holes, and they will be coming through. They will be coming through with some lighting, and that I think is going to look dynamite. I have to spray coat a primer over this. There'll be some sanding and some filling a little bit, but I think that's going to be pretty nice. I've also put one, do the bottom here. So on the port side, I have one red LED, again very small SMD, and one green SMD here. Both of those have been covered over with actually I used this ultra glue, MIG ultra glue, which is acrylic, and it's nothing more than a PVA glue like everything else we've been using, but that seems to dry really nice, and it has more body than say microcrystal clear, and it tends to hold better. So both of those have been put in. There's more lights to put in this, but that is for that piece. On the other side of the, here we go. On the other side of the ship is this other nacelle, and same thing here. So these have two green SMDs in there. These two green SMDs will fit in, and those will be on circuit. Now, the only blinking that I've seen after reviewing quite a bit of the footage, and the challenge you run into is that there are multiple different types of, let's say, renders that people have done 3D renders and lit different ways and so forth. But from what I've seen, these side lights, these navigation lights, are solid. They're just solid red, like you would have on a boat for the most part. They're just solid red. The only blinkies are going to be like on the top here, which we haven't talked about yet. On the top, here are two additional large SMDs. They're 0625 SMDs, and those will be blinking along with that top of the front hull that sits out here. So there's three lights that blink. They'll be on a circuit. I'm going to use a Flytron circuit for that. That's a very inexpensive way of doing that. I haven't looked at the HobbyLink International kit yet, but I will. And there'll also be two, a red and a green here. I'm sorry, just two whites here that won't blink in the top of the hull, just to kind of light up those two sections. I am not going to try to put a light to light up the registry that goes here. There's just nowhere to get any height to do that well. And then we've got some photo etch put in there. I also have finished the front, and I just simply need to peel that away to reveal the blue that has been behind it, and then that is a deflector dish. The next steps, because of the way that these fit in here, you have some exposed bodywork, for lack of a better phrase, like right here. So my next step is to go into the paint booth and paint that the hull color along with the front of this, because that's exposed. And so I'm going to paint the insides here before I even glue it together. I'm going to paint the inside here and paint the inside there, and same with all four of those pieces. And then same with the very front of the hull. I'll paint the inside of that, and I'll paint the inside of the top portion of that, wherever that's gotten to here. So yeah, that will have to be painted in there. So yep, we got a little bit of work to do, and when we get back, I'll be ready to go. All right, hey, welcome back. It's just been a few seconds for you. It's been about a day for me, working on the USS Defiant, primarily with the green strawberry USS Defiant NX-74205. And we've made a lot of good progress here. The first thing it wants you to do is create these glowing engine pods here. So you remove the plastic from the top of the model, and then you glue in. They give you 4 of these, but you glue in this plastic transparent sheet with the black marks on it, and that's what I've got there so far. I don't want to disturb it because it's in the glue mode. What I did is I did paint it with a pale gray, and then glued it all up, and I still have the little tiny pieces, which are these right here, these number 53s. There's 8 of them, and you have to glue those in, but those are, I'm going to wait till after the paint is done. But they have been painted. I'm just going to wait till I can paint more of the hull. But the next step under that would be to build a box, underneath that you can encapsulate a red light, because I want a glowing red light in there And so I'm going to build two light boxes to put red in there, very small, and we'll figure out how to do that. And then some of the other pieces have gone on. I've not done anything with the front of this yet, and some of the other sides. This is really nice laid out. The other thing I have though done is put in all of the windows for the underneath portion, and those have gone in very well, and it really provides a nice guide for drilling all of those windows. So those are in, and then some other pieces. A lot of these pieces I'm going to wait till I have all the lights in, and then ready to glue the ship together. Once the ship's all glued together, then I'll glue on the rest of the photo etch and go after painting. The lighting itself has been a much bigger challenge than what I had originally intended. I did get a new product today, and I've seen Boyd at TrekWorks use this, so I'm going to give my shout out to him. This is the doming resin from SolarRes, and I haven't used it yet. What I haven't figured out is this comes with this cap, but it doesn't really come with an applicator cap. And if you do have an applicator, I think I just lied to myself. Yeah, so there it is. I'm sorry. That comes off, and you can create domes. And so that's really one of the next steps. I want to create domes over the lighting on this, and the lighting on this has been kind of more amazing than what I thought. Here at the top, I have two white lights that are going to be facing in towards the light itself. Two orange lights here in the in these recessed panels. I noticed that those are in there, and then we've got two of the anti-collision lights that are going to be blinking here, and then there'll be, of course, the anti-collision light that will sit in like this. That's in there, and then this light here to light up the registry. That's just on the top itself, which is fairly involved. There's a lot of lights in that little section right there that we'll have to put together, as I just lose part of my photo etch, but that wasn't glued in, it's just there. All right, and then on the bottom section, only I have got just two lights built into that at the moment. The big key is whether to build in a couple of lights in the front of this. I haven't gotten to that yet, but that's probably what, it's the front bottom that are facing down. So if you would take the bottom of this and put it in its place like so, there's supposed to be a couple of lights that are like right here and right here, but there's a photo etch piece for it. So I'm assuming, yeah, you can see that they're there. I'm assuming that there would be a couple of lights. There would be a light here and a light there. I'm not sure if I want to go to that extent yet, so we'll come to that as we come to it. The other area of lighting that I'm going to use the SolarRes for on the doming is I'm going to dome these lights here on the side. I have put a little bit of photo etch on there, so there's more of that to come. And then the next thing is to just start wiring resistors to all of this, and then figuring out how to put this together. I think what is going to happen is I'm going to have to build this upside down with the top first. And by what I mean by the top first, let's see if I can kind of put this together. I don't know if I can or not. This is going to go on like so, I think. Yeah. So I think in order to wire this, I'm going to have to glue that piece in, and once that piece is glued in, then start doing all the wiring here, and then build an actual little light box for the red for the impulse, for the Bussard collectors, and then put a blue light that's going to go behind this piece here, kind of like so. I don't even know if that's the right side for that one or not. Doesn't matter. But that needs a blue light to face back. I might be able to just put one white light in here facing each direction, one forward, one back, paint this blue, which it has been painted, and then paint the other section with a red, and then when it lights up, it works that way. So that is the lighting as it goes. So one of the things I've done from the lighting on the inside of these is used a new glue, which I am really liking for Photo Etch because it's very slow. So if you have time, this B7000, which is multi-purpose adhesive, is a surprise adhesive force. This was a great I don't know what that means. It's Chinese, obviously, there. So, but it's like magic rubber. It's waterproof, anti-vibration, flexible, a hint of scent, paintable. Anyway, it's kind of ridiculous as I just read through it. But what's really nice is that it seems to hold Photo Etch very well, and it holds it together without the instant grab that I was having so much challenge with on CA glue. I just couldn't get my head around getting that done correctly. But these have worked out very well to put together some of these pieces like so, and then work through this. It also has worked really nice to stabilize these parts so you're not pulling on them on the inside. So let me keep working on this, and when we come back we'll have another quick update on maybe some of the interior, on the interior lighting, and we'll go from there. Thank you. Okay, welcome back to the USS Defiant. We are making progress little by little piece, jumping here, then jumping there, then jumping back and forth. The build order in this thing is a complete and total utter wreck. So let's talk about where we're at for a little bit. I have used my Solar Res Flex Finish doming resin on all of the exterior lights. For instance, here's two lights that are going to have doming resin on them, and kind of what that looks like. I'm going to light just one up real quick. I'm not going to light any more up, but just the first one up there, just to see kind of what that's going to look like under power. And that's a red light on the bottom there, port side. That looks awesome, and that's a 470 ohm on a 5-watt system, so I can even bounce that down a little bit more. And then what I'll do is I'll just put a paint mask over that when it comes to painting all of this, priming and painting it, and that really looks great. So that is lighting, getting started with the Solar Res. So there's two lights there. The bottom is pretty simple. I have cut out my pieces for lighting the windows, and this is the cob lighting, 5 volt again, cob lighting, and that should provide some real nice pieces there. And I think we'll put a piece like there, and hopefully that'll be more than enough light to bounce around inside of that when it comes to the bottom. So kind of a bit like so, and one more across here. So that'll have 4 lights, and the nice thing is that you can start your wire. I could start the wire here and wire into that, then wire these two, and then that, and then terminate it just at that one, and those will be wired in as one circuit, and then attached to these actually, because those are not going to flash. So I can light that whole bottom up with just this shot, and I'll probably have that done the next time we come back to this. The next step are the light boxes that I had to build for the top of this, and that has been a bit of a challenge. So what that is going to look like is I built these light boxes here, and these are for the engines, and so that will fit over here something like so, and I just filled that up with cotton, and then I have holes in the front and the back to put a 3mm LED in there, so it'll be something like this, and that should work really nice. And let me light that one up for us real quick, hopefully. And we're here, and then there. So that fits in like that, and that gives me a really nice glow. That gives me actually an awesome glow. I'm very happy with that. For the back, and then there'll be of course a light in the front of each of those. So I cut that so that there's a light in the front, a light in the back, and again we'll make that work. So I've got 2 of those cut, and built for the light boxes for over the engines. Just rudimentary polystyrene and cotton fiber fill and a blue LED in each of that, and that's enough blockage to make that work. Then over and let's just go ahead and do that real quick, over the glowing engines, so I'll just put a little more fiber fill in there like so, and then if we light that up, hopefully kind of the same thing. That when that goes in, oh man, that is going to look awesome. I just got a glimpse of it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to capture it. Oh yeah, I guess I can. I can capture that on camera. I'm really thrilled with that. That is going to look amazing just right there. It's not sourcey, it's diffused, and it kind of gives you that glow like the front of the Enterprise E has when it's up and running. So I've got 2 of those boxes have been built. One for each of those, and again it's just a polystyrene box with a red LED in it, a little 3mm red LED. Again, all running at 5 volts. This just easily plugs into that, and then that will fit over the other one like so. That'll fit over the other one like something like that, and just glue those in, and then we will be ready to start wiring all this with resistors and getting all this done from a lighting perspective. I still have to do the lights for the impulse engines coming out the back, but this is, I'm really excited about that, and I think wiring almost probably 85% of this from the top is going to look really nice. I went ahead and put on the nacelles and then just painted those real quick, and what that allows me to do is I've got those engines in, and all I did was just took a foam brush, real firm foam brush, something like this, and just when that was off, just dabbed it and dabbed across there, and we were off and running. So I did paint over the engine's intakes there and over that, so that I can easily just tape that off and we'll be good to go. So I do have to do the extra engines there, but being able to do this, I have to do a light back for the warp engines and a light forward for the Bussard collectors. But by gluing that on, I can then put these pieces in place. And I think it's going to go something like this. I can now glue those in place. I've painted those a gray, and when those are in place, then I can go back and start to wire that with a light behind it and diffuse it, and that will give me the look that I'm going for the Bussard collectors, and I can do the same with the other pieces, which would be something like this in the back of it. It's probably not the right one, never is. Something like that will fit on the back, and then once that's wired, I can set the top in. It's going to be a challenge because setting the top in is going to be hard. So what I really need to do is just dangle some wires in there before these get glued in, then put the top down, then glue these in, and then put the other pieces on top. So the build order is really a challenge, and I'm sure that it will be knocked around between now and then. But lots of wires, but we are making progress. So the last thing that I did is I went ahead and added a light to the bottom of the nose, and I don't know what you want to call that. Is that a torpedo? Is it, it's not the bridge, but I added the bottom of the light for the fact that that bottom, in my opinion, needed a strobe, because there's, you would just normally have one. So that has been put in, and that it will be a blinking light, and that should look dynamite underneath there. I used my solar res on that already, and that will be a strobe, anti-collision strobe. Super bright. I think that looks awesome. I'm really starting to dig that solar res. Again, I'll tape mask over that with a little round mask, paint everything, and then I'll wire that. And again, that's going to need a pretty hefty resistor. This is a 470 ohm resistor. I might have to go up to almost a 1K resistor so it doesn't totally blow that out. But very pleased with that. So that is going to bring this episode 2 of the USS Defiant to a close. I know it doesn't seem like we've made much progress, but just getting all this stuff, where the wiring is going to go, and kind of feeding this in is a huge plus. The next step would be to wire everything with resistors, just so we can get to that. And then once all the wiring is in with resistors, then I can start on closing it up. We're a ways away from that though, just from how we're going to get there. Like I said, I don't even have the lights set up for like the impulse engine exhaust and the warp engine exhaust. I don't have any of those, and we'll have to get there. So, all right, I appreciate your attention and viewership. Just getting back to this and really enjoying it. I really enjoy modeling. It's been such a long time that I forgot how enjoyable this problem solving is. It doesn't look like much yet, but we'll get there, and when we do, we will have a nice lit version of the NX-74205. And again, here's the one that I did. I'm kind of working off of from a just where stuff goes kind of thing, and very excited about that coming along. And you know what? I think I'm going to light up one more light, if you'll indulge me. I'm not even sure if I can get to it. Let's see if it is. No, it's a tangled mess. I did get 2 orange lights in here, and those are going to look dynamite, but they need to be really tamed down. They're way up there. They're like something like they're just super bright, so I just need to watch what I'm doing there. So let's see if I can't break this loose. Okay, so there's the grounds. Sorry for the delay here, folks. All right, so those are the orange lights up in that section, again with the solar res over the top of them. Gives them a dome look. So pleased with the way that's turning out. So we'll continue with this. If you do like what you see, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that like button and share and subscribe. And until the next episode 3 of the USS Defiant, we will be back with you. Thank you.